Hey guys, you know Gerson from Deltarune? I think he's the key to the ending of Deltarune. Or lack of. Just hear me out.
Back in 2011, Toby Fox had a fever, and during this fever he dreamed of the ending to a game. It was a beautiful ending. It was the best thing he had seen. When he woke up with a mission. To recreate this dream. To make a game that leads up to this ending, and make it the best game he had ever seen. This game was Deltarune. As we know, Deltarune's story is focused around the prophecy, a story foretold by time and space, dictating the events of the future. The prophecy, according to Ralsei, is unchangeable, guaranteed to happen no matter what you do. In comes Gerson Boom. If you combine the flavor text of Chapter 1 and his presence in the Church's Dark Worlds, we find out that Gerson Boom wrote Lord of the Hammer, a renowned book series based off the prophecy. When you're fighting him, he gives Susie a quick synopsis of the story, going chapter by chapter, 1 through 5.
Did you ever hear about that old tale? Yes, the old tale based upon the prophecy, Lord of the Hammer.
I think I heard about it. What happens?
Chapter 1, The March of the Dark King. The heroes defeat the king and stop the dragon. Chapter 2, The City of the Shining. The heroes do battle in chariots to save the queen. Chapter 3, The Isles of Northern Light. The heroes travel among the islands and catch a glimpse of a lost land. Chapter 4, The Trials of the Holy Hammer. A great smith gives the heroes a terrible weapon. Chapter 5, The Field of Pink and Gold. The vast garden is charged with an inferno of jealousy.
As you can tell, each chapter of Lord of the Hammer loosely correlates to each chapter of the game, with the exception of 5 because Chapter 5 does not exist yet. Although this isn't completely accurate to the events thus far, Lord of the Hammer is an adaptation of the prophecy. It was never supposed to be accurate. Despite this, it doesn't seem like much a stretch to assume the actual prophecy exactly coincides with our journey thus far, just as Ralsei thought it would.
What happens next? Who knows? There was only one more chapter. After that, it all stopped. That next book, it never did get written. The story, it became so grand, so overwhelming. Some say it swallowed up the author himself.
Chapter 7 was never made. As is later highlighted, Gerson is dead. Chapter 7, the ending to Lord of the Hammer, and by proxy, the ending to Deltarune, was never made because Gerson died before he could write it. And mind you, it's not like the prophecy doesn't know it'll happen either. The prophecy does. That's what the final scene in the Church's Dark World was about.
The ones who could write the next, the youth, the pen was lying there for them to pick up. To make the next page. They never did. So, how do you think it all ends? No, how do you want it to end?
Imagine Gerson to be a half metaphor for Toby. The entirety of Deltarune was to make a game surrounding the ending to his dream, and that makes the dream a sort of prophecy in its own right. The entire game is built around this ending. The events of his dream are unchangeable, guaranteed to happen no matter what. That's the point of Deltarune, and it's why I think subverting the ending of the prophecy, his dream, is so important to the story. But what if, just like Gerson, he never got to finish Deltarune? What if, just like with Lord of the Hammer, it all stopped? Based off the fact that Gerson died, and that many think the story was too big for Gerson, I predict that Toby Fox will kill himself after the release of Chapter 6 and before the release of Chapter 7, leaving it to the fans to finish the story. The youth not picking up the pen and finishing Lord of the Hammer implies Toby's prediction. Maybe the fans won't finish the story. Maybe they'll simply mourn and Deltarune will be left incomplete. Maybe they will finish the story, but there will be so many interpretations that line up with Toby's vision that nobody can agree on it. The opposite could happen. The fans, possibly joining the others who worked on Deltarune, could assemble and use everything they have to complete the story once and for all. Perhaps it's his doubt speaking. I'm well aware that this may not happen, since the whole point of Deltarune is to recreate the dream, so killing yourself not to do that is pretty stupid, but we don't know what happened in his fever dream. For all we know, his fever dream may have been about the game's community, the fans' willingness to pick up the pen and write the final chapter. Perhaps that was the greatness of his dream, the many possibilities the hypothetical video game would have when in the hands of its fans. Plus, he's been spending my entire lifespan trying to make his dream reality. It's not too far a stretch to assume he'll do anything for that to happen. Maybe the real Deltarune were the friends inside of us. Thank you for watching.